Okay, welcome back to MacNab Chemistry, and today we're going to have a look at hydrogen-oxygen fuel cells. Okay, if we remember back to previous videos, the purpose of chemical cells was to convert chemical energy from chemical reactions into electrical energy, and in doing so we just create a voltage. So we kind of use chemical reactions to basically create a voltage and electricity. Okay, well, a special type of chemical cell is the hydrogen fuel cell. Okay, and these use hydrogen as the fuel to create the electrical energy. So here we have it. So hydrogen fuel cells are a special type of chemical cell using hydrogen as the fuel to create electrical energy. Okay, another thing to remember when we're talking about fuel cells is that the setup of them is different from a normal electrolysis experiment. So fuel cells are special, right? In a fuel cell, the anode is the negative electrode and the cathode is the positive electrode, whereas normally in electrolysis the anode is the positive electrode and the cathode is the negative electrode. This is very, very important to remember, okay, and it's something that you really mustn't get confused about. Okay, so hydrogen-oxygen fuel cells, we're using chemical reactions using hydrogen as a fuel to create electricity. Okay, so I take some hydrogen, I react it with oxygen, and it makes water plus electrical energy. Okay, the fact that it just produces water is really quite good environmentally. Okay, because obviously that isn't particularly harmful, or isn't harmful to the environment. Okay, so next step then, let's have a look at the setup of the hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell. Right, here we go. Right, so again, a reminder, the overall reaction, hydrogen plus oxygen makes water plus energy. Okay, so there you go, water is the only product of the reaction. Okay, and here is my chemical cell. Now, it looks quite complicated, but actually it's just the same as any chemical cell that we've set up in previous videos. Okay, I've got an anode here, so an electrode here, an electrode here. I've got my wires, a bulb here, or a voltmeter, which would detect the voltage that's generated. Okay, so voltmeter or a bulb in this case. Okay, electrode, electrode. My electrodes are dipping into this region here. I have an electrolyte, so something like phosphoric acid. Let's move that slightly up the page. There we go. Yep. Okay, so I've got my anode and my cathode dipping into my electrolyte here. Okay, and my electrolyte could be phosphoric acid, as I've just said. Right, remember, my anode is the negative electrode in a chemical cell. Okay, and the cathode is my positive electrode. Right, okay, so this is what happens. The hydrogen flows in to the anode. Okay, the hydrogen molecule then splits. It releases electrons that flow through the electrical circuit, and when the hydrogen loses electrons, the hydrogen atoms become hydrogen ions, and the hydrogen ions pass through this anode here. Now that anode needs to be porous to allow the hydrogen ions to flow through, so that's a porous anode. The hydrogen ions then exist in the phosphoric acid electrolyte. The hydrogen ions then move to the positive cathode. Okay, they react with the incoming oxygen from here and they make water. Okay, so it's really quite simple. Hydrogen flows into the anode, the hydrogen molecule splits to create electrons that flow around the external circuit, and the hydrogen ions then flow through the porous anode into the electrolyte to the cathode. Okay, where they meet up with oxygen. Oxygen flows to the cathode. Okay, and the overall reaction that happens then is hydrogen in, oxygen in to the cathode to make water. Water comes out here plus energy. Okay, so let's have a look at the half equations that go with the electrodes. So at our negative electrode, that's this one here, that's the anode, we get oxidation. So hydrogen molecules lose electrons to make hydrogen ions. Okay, remember those electrons then flow around the external circuit to light a bulb or to run a little motor or whatever it is you want to do with it. Okay, at the cathode, oxygen arrives at the cathode. Okay, it reacts with the hydrogen ions that came from the anode and the electrolyte. Okay, and it makes water. Okay, so in summary, hydrogen oxygen fuel cells are a very good way of generating electrical energy without really producing any pollutants. Okay, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click on the bell notification to stay updated.